Have you ever asked yourself, what truly matters as the years pass, and how can I find lasting happiness in the stage of life I'm entering? If you've ever felt weighed down by old regrets, strained relationships, or the pain of missed opportunities, you're not alone, and this video could change everything. In the next few minutes, we're going to explore 5 powerful truths that can help you leave behind the burdens that no longer serve you. By the end, you'll understand how letting go of certain emotional weights can clear the path for more meaningful connections, inner peace, and a sense of purpose that transcends anything material. You'll learn why resentment steals your peace, how past sorrows cloud your present joy, and which relationships might be holding you back. You'll also discover why pride and old titles don't define you, and how forgiveness, both for yourself and others, can set you free. Stick around, because each of these insights builds upon the last, guiding you to a life unburdened by old hurts and unrealized dreams. By the time we're done, you'll have a blueprint for reclaiming your emotional freedom, enriching your relationships, and welcoming a new chapter of genuine, fulfilled living. Don't just watch passively, immerse yourself, and see what wisdom you can carry forward starting today. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Now, let's begin. 1. Let go of resentment. Resentment is not just an emotion. It is a silent thief that robs us of everything that matters most: our peace, our joy, and our very health. It starts as a small, almost unnoticeable feeling, perhaps triggered by a single moment of betrayal or hurtful words. But over time, resentment takes root, sinking deeper and deeper into our hearts, growing with every new memory of injustice or pain. It feeds on our anger, our disappointment, and our inability to let go. What began as a fleeting moment of hurt soon becomes a consuming force that shapes the way we see the world and the people in it. It distorts our emotions, clouds our thoughts, and ultimately robs us of the ability to live fully and love freely. What's truly insidious about resentment is how it can feel oddly comforting, like an old, familiar friend we've grown used to, even though it only brings harm. Holding on to resentment is like protecting a wound that refuses to heal. We convince ourselves that by holding on to that bitterness, we are somehow protecting ourselves, keeping ourselves safe from further harm. We tell ourselves that by keeping that anger alive, we are somehow punishing the person who hurt us. But the painful truth is that this is nothing but a lie we tell ourselves. Holding on to resentment doesn't hurt the person who wronged us, it only punishes us. It is like clutching a burning piece of coal, determined to throw it at the one who hurt us, but in the process, we burn ourselves. Resentment is a slow poison. It begins as a murmur, a nagging thought in the back of our minds, but over time, it works its way into every corner of our lives. That anger, that bitterness, becomes a permanent resident in our hearts and minds. It shows up in our thoughts when we least expect it, reappearing like an unwelcome guest. It haunts us in the quiet moments of reflection, in the middle of a peaceful day when we should be enjoying the present. Resentment has a way of creeping into the spaces where we should feel calm and safe, turning even the simplest moments into reminders of our pain. And sometimes, it doesn't stop at emotional turmoil, it manifests itself in physical ways, too. Studies have shown that harboring resentment contributes to chronic stress, anxiety, and even heart disease. The toll it takes on our bodies is just as real as the toll it takes on our hearts. But beyond the physical and emotional damage, resentment steals something even more precious: our emotional freedom. When we hold on to anger and bitterness, we bind ourselves to the past, tethering ourselves to people and situations that have long since moved on. Our thoughts and emotions are no longer our own. They are controlled by those who have hurt us. Resentment holds us hostage, preventing us from fully experiencing the present moment, and from embracing the joy and peace that could be ours. We cannot be free to live our lives to the fullest when we are still tethered to the past, to those old wounds that refuse to heal. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. It's easy to think that forgiving someone means excusing their behavior, condoning their actions, or forgetting what they've done. But forgiveness is not about letting someone off the hook. It doesn't mean we forget the pain or the harm they caused us. It doesn't mean we invite them back into our lives with open arms as if nothing ever happened. Forgiveness is, first and foremost, a gift that we give ourselves. It's an act of self-liberation, a conscious decision to release the hold that anger and resentment have on our lives. Forgiveness means that we no longer allow the hurt inflicted upon us to control our thoughts, our actions, or our happiness. It is choosing to let go of the bitterness that keeps us in chains, and instead, to embrace the freedom that comes from releasing that burden. Imagine, just for a moment, what it would feel like to truly let go of resentment. Picture the person or situation that still haunts your thoughts, the friend who betrayed your trust, the family member whose cruel words still echo in your mind, or even that younger version of yourself who made choices you now regret. Imagine setting that burden down, watching it fade away, drifting off like a cloud in the sky. How much lighter would you feel? How much freer? Picture yourself waking up every day without the weight of that anger and bitterness weighing you down. What would your life look like if you could truly let go? But, as much as we might wish for instant relief, letting go of resentment is not a one-time event. It's a process, a journey that unfolds over time. It begins with a simple yet powerful acknowledgement. Yes, this happened. It hurt. It mattered. We must permit ourselves to grieve, to feel the pain, the anger, the disappointment. We cannot skip over the emotions that come with betrayal or hurt. But, and this is crucial, we must also remind ourselves that we don't live there anymore. That hurt may be part of our past, but it doesn't have to define our future. It doesn't have to dictate the rest of our story. Forgiveness is an ongoing practice. Some days, it will be easier than others. On some mornings, we may wake up and feel the sting of old wounds as sharp as it ever was. But on other days, we may notice that the pain has lessened, that the grip of resentment has loosened just a little. These small moments of relief are worth celebrating, for they are proof that healing is happening. They are evidence that, step by step, we are reclaiming our emotional freedom. Letting go of resentment also requires us to change the story we tell ourselves about the past. Ask yourself, what have I learned from this? How has this experience shaped me into who I am today? Sometimes, the most profound lessons come from our deepest wounds. Resentment loses its power when we stop seeing our painful experiences as things that define us and instead see them as milestones on the road to our growth and resilience. The scars of our past are not marks of weakness, but reminders of the strength we have developed through adversity. To let go of resentment is to reclaim our power. It's a courageous act of self-love, a declaration that we will no longer allow the pain of the past to dictate the course of our lives. It's choosing to take back control, to stand tall, and say, I will not be ruled by this anger anymore. It's about living fully in the present, not chained to the past. It's about embracing the possibility of peace and joy that awaits us once we free ourselves from the weight of resentment. The people who hurt us no longer deserve a place in our hearts or our minds. They no longer deserve to steal our happiness. Letting go of resentment is not about them. It's about us, our peace, our happiness, and our freedom. Now, imagine a life without the burden of anger and bitterness. Picture yourself smiling more easily, laughing more freely, and feeling lighter in your heart. Picture yourself waking up each day with a sense of calm and peace, unburdened by the weight of old wounds. It may seem impossible, but I promise you, it is not. Resentment may have walked beside you for years, but it doesn't have to walk with you any longer. Today can be the day you begin to let go. Today can be the day you start loosening the grip of anger, one thought, one breath, one act of forgiveness at a time. You've carried this weight for long enough. It's time to let it go. For your health, for your happiness, for your peace, for you. 2. Let go of past sorrows. The past is a place we often find ourselves drawn back to, a realm where memories can feel both comforting and painful. It is a place that holds both the laughter of days gone by and the shadows of sorrow that sometimes creep up when we least expect it. These memories, beautiful and heartbreaking, often shape who we are, but they can also weigh heavily on us if we let them. For many of us, the most challenging part of aging isn't the accumulation of years, but the emotional baggage we carry from the past. The toll of lost opportunities, fractured relationships, and the deep ache left by the absence of loved ones can sometimes feel unbearable. These memories, no matter how long ago they were formed, continue to echo in our hearts, reminding us of what once was and what is no longer. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Yet, what if we stopped letting the past have such a hold on us? What if, instead of being weighed down by the sorrows of yesterday, we allowed ourselves to embrace the beauty of the present and the hope for what lies ahead? Letting go of past sorrows doesn't mean erasing the pain or pretending that the things we've lost didn't matter. It doesn't mean we should forget the people who shaped us or the experiences that taught us vital life lessons. What it means is recognizing that life is a complex, multifaceted mosaic of moments, some of them joyful, others painful, and choosing to focus on the moments that bring light and joy into our lives today. It's not about pretending the past didn't hurt or that we shouldn't mourn what we've lost. Grief is natural, and it's a reflection of how deeply we've loved. However, I believe it's also about learning how to live with those memories without letting them dominate our every waking thought. Life, in all its beauty and tragedy, is meant to be lived fully in the moment. And in that moment, we have the power to choose how we respond to our memories. Take a moment and think about the sorrows that have lingered in your heart. Maybe it's the sting of regret over something left unsaid, a mistake you wish you could undo, or the ache of losing someone dear before their time. These sorrows are part of your story, yes, but they are not the entire narrative. They are chapters, and while they may have shaped you, they do not define the whole book. When we carry these sorrows, it's as if we allow them to become the narrative of our lives, overshadowing all the beauty and growth that has happened since. But the past is just that, the past. It cannot be rewritten, and it should not dominate the present. Grieving is a natural response to loss, and there is no right or wrong way to grieve. But staying stuck in that grief, allowing it to consume us, keeps us from embracing the fullness of life that remains. Imagine, if you will, a garden after a heavy storm. The flowers have been trampled, branches are broken, and the once pristine soil is scattered and uneven. The damage is evident, but the potential for new growth is still there. With time, patience, and care, that garden can be restored. The same is true for your heart. Yes, past sorrows may have left their scars, but those scars don't have to define you. You have the power to nurture new growth in your emotional landscape and to create space for new joys, new experiences, and new chapters. You can heal. You can grow. You can bloom again. The journey of letting go starts with acceptance. You must accept that what has happened cannot be undone. You must come to terms with the fact that sorrow is an inevitable part of life, a part of what makes us human. But just as important as accepting that sorrow is accepting your power to move forward. Accept that you have the strength and the resilience to carry those lessons, the ones taught by the pain, without carrying the weight of the sorrow itself. The past is full of lessons, it's full of wisdom, but it doesn't have to live in the foreground of your mind, constantly reminding you of what's been lost. The future is still ahead of you, waiting to be explored, and the present is a precious gift, full of moments waiting to be savored. Focusing on the present moment is one of the most healing acts you can offer yourself. Every day, we are given opportunities to connect with the world around us. The simple joys of feeling the warmth of the sun on our skin, the joy of breathing in crisp morning air, the sound of laughter filling the space around us. These are moments that can easily pass us by if we are too consumed by the shadows of our past. Letting go of past grief opens up the space for us to fully experience these small, seemingly insignificant moments that are the essence of life itself. The little things, the ones that don't ask for much but offer so much in return, are where the true healing lies. Life doesn't have to be grand or extraordinary to be beautiful. It's in the quiet, everyday moments that joy often resides. And there's something incredibly empowering about reframing your relationship with the past. Instead of viewing it as a series of wounds, why not see it as evidence of your resilience? You've survived heartbreak. You've endured loss. You've faced challenges that many might not have been able to overcome. And yet, here you are. You are still standing. Every moment of pain, every loss, every trial you faced has only made you stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. The sorrows of the past may have shaped you, but they do not have to control your story. Your story is not over. It's still being written, and you are still the author. One of the greatest fears in letting go is the worry that, in doing so, you might lose your connection to what you've lost. I can relate to this fear deeply. It feels as though letting go of sorrow means letting go of the love we once had, and that's a painful thought. But here's the truth I've learned. Letting go of sorrow does not mean letting go of love. Love remains, and it always will. It's a part of you now, woven into the fabric of who you are. It is a quiet, unshakable strength that sustains you, even in the darkest of times. Choosing to focus on the love, rather than the loss, honors the people and the moments that have shaped you. Love is not diminished by time or by sorrow. It grows deeper, more profound, and more enduring. Letting go of past sorrows is not a betrayal of your memories. It's an act of courage. It's an act of self-love. It's you telling yourself that you deserve to live fully in the present, that you deserve to experience the joy, the peace, and the love that life still offers. You are not defined by what you have lost, but by how you choose to embrace the future with an open heart. As you stand here, in this moment, take a deep breath. Let the past rest where it belongs, behind you. You've given it enough of your time, your energy, your heart. Now, turn your face to the sunlight of today. The beauty of the present is here, right in front of you, waiting for you to embrace it. Let the sorrows of yesterday fade into the background where they belong. Life is moving forward, and it's waiting for you to step into it. Take a step. Let go of the weight of what's behind you, and open your heart to the wonders of now. The world is waiting for you, and it's ready to welcome you with open arms. Step forward. Embrace the present. Embrace life. 3. Let go of meaningless relationships. As we travel through life, it becomes increasingly clear that time has an uncanny ability to reveal what truly matters, and more importantly, who truly matters. When we are younger, we often think that having a large circle of friends, acquaintances, and casual connections is a sign of success. The busier we are, the more people we know, the richer and fuller our lives must be. It seems that the more we can juggle, the more social we are, the more connected we become. And in our youthful exuberance, we believe this is how life is supposed to be. We fill our days with people, sometimes without considering the depth or true value of these relationships. Some are close friends, some are co-workers, and some are casual acquaintances we see only occasionally. But at that age, many of us often think that the quantity of our relationships is what defines us. We strive to be liked, to be surrounded by others, and to feel as though we belong to something, even if that something is just a surface-level connection. The hustle and bustle of life leave little time for reflection, and we mistakenly equate popularity with fulfillment. But as the years pass and we grow older, a different truth starts to emerge. We begin to realize that it's not the quantity of people in our lives that brings us joy, but the quality of the relationships we hold dear. Some relationships that once felt important begin to lose their luster. We may start noticing that certain people no longer add value to our lives, or worse, they drain us. The connections that were once easy and natural may become burdensome, and we start asking ourselves, why do we keep investing time and energy into relationships that only make us feel small, overlooked, or unappreciated? That's when the realization comes. Not every person we meet is meant to stay in our lives forever. Time has a way of gently guiding us to understand this truth if we are willing to listen. As we grow older, the idea of letting go becomes more poignant. By this stage in life, we have experienced enough ups and downs to understand that not every relationship is meant to last indefinitely. The relationships that no longer serve us, no longer nurture our souls, no longer bring us joy, those are the relationships we must release. And this release is not about harshness or anger. It is about liberation. Letting go is a conscious decision to protect your peace, your happiness, and your emotional well-being. Think for a moment about your own life. Reflect on the people who occupy it. Are there relationships that fill you with light and joy, who make you feel seen and understood, who celebrate your victories, support you through your challenges, and love you for exactly who you are? These are the relationships that deserve your time, your energy, and your care. These are the people you hold on to. But then, there are the others, the ones who seem to bring nothing but negativity, who take more than they give, and who leave you feeling worse about yourself. These are the people who contribute to emotional fatigue, stress, to feelings of inadequacy. These are the relationships that need to be re-examined. Letting go does not always mean an abrupt severance or a dramatic confrontation. It doesn't have to be a declaration of war or a loud statement of dissatisfaction. Sometimes, it's simply choosing to step back, choosing to prioritize your emotional health and well-being over the expectations or demands of others. It's about recognizing that you do not owe anyone an explanation for taking care of yourself. And as hard as it may be, it's a decision that, in the long run, will only serve to strengthen your sense of self and your ability to live authentically. For many of us, letting go of long-term relationships can be difficult. There may be guilt, there may be a sense of betrayal, or even the fear that we are somehow being unkind. But we must remember this. Caring for yourself is not selfish. It is essential. We are not meant to spend our precious time on this earth catering to people who do not truly care for us, who do not respect our boundaries, or who do not support our personal growth. The people who truly love and care about us will understand our need for space, and they will respect our decision to put our mental and emotional health first. On the other hand, those who do not understand are showing us that their care is conditional, and perhaps their place in our lives was never as solid as we thought. Imagine the emotional weight you would release if you freed yourself from relationships that hold you back, that drain your spirit, or that force you into positions of compromise and self-sacrifice. Letting go of these relationships doesn't just remove negativity from your life, it makes room for new opportunities. It creates space for people who uplift you, for genuinely fulfilling friendships, and for relationships that are rooted in trust, respect, and mutual care. When we remove the clutter of meaningless ties, we make room for deeper, more meaningful connections. These connections might come in the form of long-standing relationships that have grown stronger over time, or they may appear as fresh, new bonds that nurture and inspire us. Letting go allows us to rediscover our capacity for love and companionship, free from the constraints of superficiality or obligation. This act of letting go might feel like a difficult and painful process. We may fear the consequences, worry about the feelings of those we are distancing ourselves from, or wonder if we are making the right choice. These fears are valid, and they are part of the emotional landscape of this journey. But here's the truth. The people who truly value you will appreciate your decision to prioritize your happiness and peace of mind. They will understand that, to be your best self, you must sometimes shed the weight of relationships that no longer serve you. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Life is too short to waste on people who cannot see your worth, who only take and never give, and who bring drama or negativity into your world. As we age, we realize more and more that what matters most is the depth and sincerity of our relationships, not their number. One true friend who listens without judgment, one family member who truly cares, one neighbor who shows kindness. These are the relationships that make life worth living. It is not about grand gestures, but about the quiet moments of shared understanding, love, and respect. So, as you reflect on the relationships in your life, ask yourself, who makes you feel alive, valued, and cherished? Who is there for you, through thick and thin, offering their love, understanding, and support? Hold on to them. Let the others go. Letting go is not about abandonment. It is about clarity. It is about making the space necessary for the real relationships that deserve your energy and your heart. You deserve to live these years surrounded by those who bring joy, peace, and genuine connection into your life. So, choose wisely. Choose with intention, and choose with love. Let go of what no longer serves you, and embrace what truly matters. In doing so, you will not only find contentment but also the deep sense of fulfillment that comes with knowing you've allowed yourself to live with authenticity, surrounded by those who truly cherish you. 4. Let go of empty pride and titles. As the years slip by, like sand through our fingers, the roles and titles that once defined us begin to lose their meaning. The job titles, the achievements, the positions we held, these were the symbols of our worth, the outward reflections of our value in the world. We wore them proudly, and they became intertwined with our sense of identity. Perhaps we were a respected leader, a revered educator, or a successful business owner. Maybe we were a dedicated spouse or a loving parent, the one who sacrificed and gave everything to create a better future for others. For years, these titles were a part of who we were, affirming not just our place in the world but the pride we took in the roles we filled. But as time marches on, we inevitably find that the world we once knew begins to change. The job we once thrived in may be gone, and the societal recognition we once received may seem less relevant. The roles we held are fading, and with them, the connection to who we thought we were. The question arises, if we are no longer defined by our titles, who are we now? There is an incredible beauty in this realization, even though it can be unsettling at first. Letting go of empty pride and the titles that once gave us significance is not a rejection of our past. It is a step toward embracing who we are now, with all the wisdom, experience, and growth that has come with time. Titles are not the essence of who we are, and yet, for so long, we've allowed ourselves to be defined by them. Letting go of them isn't about losing our dignity or disregarding our achievements. It's about freeing ourselves from the weight of external validation. We've earned those accomplishments, no doubt, but our true value lies beyond them. The truth is that titles are transient. They are tied to the roles we play in specific moments of our lives, but they don't define our intrinsic worth. Our worth lies in who we are now, not in the job we had 20 years ago or the degree we earned long ago. The status we held in the past is a part of our journey, yes, but it's not where our true identity rests. We are more than our titles, more than the sum of our achievements. What defines us now is how we show up in the world today, how we treat others, the love we give, the wisdom we impart, and the impact we make on the lives of those around us. When we hold on to outdated titles, we risk becoming stuck in a version of ourselves that no longer exists. Imagine a retired professional who insists on introducing themselves by their former position, constantly clinging to the past. While it may give them a momentary sense of pride, there is often an underlying feeling of disconnection, as if they are not fully participating in the present moment. There is a subtle emptiness that comes from clinging to an identity that no longer fits. We begin to feel like imposters, pretending to be something we once were but no longer are. This creates a barrier between who we were and who we could be, a barrier that stops us from fully embracing the present and looking forward to what the future holds. Letting go of these old labels is an act of courage, a declaration that we are ready to step into a new chapter of life, unburdened by the constraints of our past. It allows us to release the pressure of living up to expectations that no longer serve us. No longer defined by our roles, we can simply be ourselves, free from the need for external recognition. This freedom is incredibly empowering. We no longer have to prove our worth to anyone, not even ourselves. We are enough as we are in this moment. We are defined by the love we give, the kindness we show, and the relationships we nurture. not by the title we once held or the accolades we once received. Letting go of pride does not mean we are abandoning dignity or self-respect. It is the opposite. It's about understanding that dignity doesn't come from the titles we wear, but from how we carry ourselves, how we treat others, and how we maintain our integrity. The real value of life comes from the intangible, those things that can't be measured by awards or job titles. It comes from the laughter shared with a friend, the embrace of a child, and the quiet moments of connection that pass unnoticed but hold the most profound meaning. These are the things that make life rich and meaningful. These are the things that define us now. It's also important to remember that letting go of a title doesn't diminish our contributions. All that we've done in our careers, in our communities, in our families, it remains. These achievements live on in the hearts and minds of the people we've impacted. The work we've done, the lives we've touched, the challenges we've overcome, none of that is erased by the act of releasing a label. It is often through letting go that we gain a deeper understanding of our significance. Without the need to constantly reference our past accomplishments, we can see how those moments have shaped us and how they continue to resonate in the way we live today. The title may be gone, but the legacy remains, woven into the fabric of our interactions and the lives we continue to touch. Consider the story you want to tell about your life now. Do you want it to be a string of titles, a list of accomplishments, a laundry list of things that once defined you? Or do you want it to reflect something deeper, the character you've developed, the lessons you've learned, the love you've shared, and the way you've treated others? In the end, the most profound achievements in life are not those that come with a certificate or a plaque. They are the quiet, tender moments of connection that leave a lasting imprint on the hearts of others. The way we loved, the way we cared, the way we listened. These are the things that will matter when the titles are long forgotten. Letting go of pride is an act of profound self-awareness. It's about recognizing that who we are now, in this moment, is far more important than who we were or what we've done. We have lived through challenges, joys, and hardships, and all of these experiences have shaped us into the person we are today. This person, this wise, authentic, and compassionate individual, is enough. We don't need to hide behind a title or a label. The person we've become is far more valuable than anything we could ever wear or achieve externally. In this stage of life, we are free. Free to be ourselves without pretense. Free to engage in relationships with authenticity and vulnerability. Free to embrace the present moment without the need for external validation. This freedom is the gift of letting go of empty pride and titles. And it is a gift that allows us to step into the future with confidence, peace, and a deep sense of fulfillment. You've earned this freedom. You've earned the right to simply be, without the need to prove anything to anyone. It's time to embrace who you are, in all your wisdom and authenticity, and step into this next chapter with grace and joy. 5. Forgive yourself and others. Forgiveness is one of the most profound and transformative acts of healing, yet it remains one of the hardest practices to embrace, especially when it comes to forgiving ourselves. Life, with its intricate weave of experiences, brings us both moments of joy and stretches of pain. Along this journey, we gather not only the cherished memories of love and laughter, but also the scars of mistakes, regrets, and relationships that didn't unfold as we once hoped. These emotional wounds, if left unhealed, can cling to our hearts, weighing them down with unresolved bitterness and preventing us from experiencing the fullness of peace that we deserve. Forgiving yourself is perhaps the most essential yet often overlooked form of self-compassion. Throughout our lives, we tend to set high standards for ourselves, holding ourselves accountable for every small failure or shortcoming. Whether it's moments when we failed to act, failed to speak up, or even failed to meet the expectations of others or ourselves, these instances often haunt us. We replay them in our minds, over and over, like a never-ending loop, reminding ourselves of our imperfections. With time, this self-blame can take root, turning into a harsh inner critic that judges our every move, undermining the kindness and compassion we need most during moments of self-doubt. But here's the truth. You are human, and being human means being imperfect. No one is exempt from making mistakes, experiencing setbacks, or falling short in some way. Perfection was never the goal of life. Instead, it is the process of growth, learning, and the capacity to love, both ourselves and others, that truly matters. To forgive yourself is not to excuse your flaws, but to embrace your humanity. It's the act of saying, "I did the best I could with what I knew at the time." It's about honoring your journey, recognizing that every misstep, every failure, was not a mark of incompetence, but a part of your personal growth and evolution. Every decision, even the ones you regret, has shaped the person you are today. Imagine, for a moment, speaking to your younger self, not with the harshness of anger or disappointment, but with the same gentleness you would extend to a child learning to walk. Instead of judgment, offer yourself understanding. Remind yourself that you were always trying, even when things didn't turn out as planned. You cannot rewrite the past, but you can choose to view it with compassion instead of criticism. This act of kindness toward yourself is a powerful healing practice, one that can help you free yourself from the shackles of past regrets and open the door to the future with a lighter heart. Extending forgiveness to others can be equally transformative. Throughout our lives, we all encounter individuals who have hurt us, sometimes deeply. Whether it's a friend who betrayed us, a loved one who let us down, or even a stranger whose words or actions left an indelible mark on our hearts, these wounds often linger. It is not because they are still fresh, but because we keep revisiting them, nursing the pain as if clinging to it will somehow bring justice or make it right. But holding on to anger, resentment, or hurt is like clinging to a heavy stone, expecting the person who wronged you to feel its weight. The truth is, they may not even be aware of the pain they caused, or worse, they may not care. Yet, you are the one who continues to carry it. The only one who suffers is you. Forgiving others does not mean excusing their behavior, nor does it mean pretending that the hurt didn't happen. It simply means choosing to release the hold that their actions have over your peace of mind. It's the choice to stop letting the past dictate how you feel in the present so that you can move forward without being weighed down by it. Forgiveness is not a gift to the person who hurt you. It is a gift to yourself. It is a declaration that you will no longer allow the mistakes or actions of others to have the power to define your emotional state. Letting go of the anger, the bitterness, and the desire for revenge is one of the most liberating things you can do. It doesn't change the past, but it does free you from its grip. This act of releasing isn't always easy. There will be moments when the old pain resurfaces, when the memories sting as if they happened only yesterday. In those moments, remember that forgiveness is a practice, not a one-time event. It is a choice you make each time the hurt bubbles up, each time the memory comes rushing back. Each time, you can choose to let go of it just a little more. As you move through this process, you'll notice that the pain feels lighter, the anger less intense, and the peace within you grows stronger. One of the key components of forgiveness is perspective. As you reflect on those who have hurt you, take a step back and consider their humanity too. Were they acting out of their pain, ignorance, or fear? This doesn't excuse their actions, but it can provide you with a new understanding that helps you let go of the what and focus on the why. Often, when we can understand why someone hurt us, whether due to their unresolved issues, insecurities, or personal struggles, it becomes easier to release the resentment. In forgiving them, you are not condoning their actions, but choosing to stop carrying the weight of those actions. Forgiveness becomes an act of freedom. Freedom from the emotional burdens that have kept you tethered to the past. It is about reclaiming your peace, your joy, and your sense of self. It is about choosing a future where you are no longer a prisoner of past hurts. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Whether it's forgiving yourself for a mistake you made years ago, or forgiving someone who caused you pain, every act of forgiveness is a step toward living a life that is lighter and freer. As you move through the stages of life, remember that forgiveness doesn't change the past, but it can transform the future. It clears the path for joy, connection, and a sense of wholeness that cannot coexist with resentment. You've carried these burdens long enough. Now is the time to set them down. Forgive yourself for the times you didn't know better. Forgive others for their imperfections, just as you hope to be forgiven for yours. In doing so, you open the door to a life that is not defined by what has been lost or broken, but by what remains, what still deserves to be cherished and celebrated. Forgiveness isn't just an act. It's a gift, one that you give to yourself over and over again, embracing the freedom to live fully. As we age, life offers us a remarkable gift, the opportunity to focus on what truly matters. It's a time to shed the burdens of the past, to release the weight of old wounds, and to embrace the simplicity and beauty of the present moment. Life in its later years can be a time of profound clarity. Clarity about what brings us joy, what makes us feel at peace, and what nourishes our soul. Letting go is not about losing anything. It's about gaining so much more. It's about gaining clarity, peace, and the freedom to live authentically. Each act of letting go is a step closer to the contentment and happiness you truly deserve. When you release resentment, you reclaim your peace. When you let go of past sorrows, you make room for gratitude. When you walk away from relationships that drain you, you create space for the ones that truly nourish your soul. When you release pride, you find humility, grace, and a deeper connection with those around you. And when you forgive yourself and others, you open your heart to the profound freedom that only love, compassion, and understanding can bring. The years that may seem like the autumn of life are filled with the harvest of wisdom, resilience, and perspective. By letting go of what no longer serves you, you create space for what does. Deeper connections, quieter joys, and a peace that transcends the noise and confusion of the world. Imagine a life where your heart feels light, your mind is unburdened, and your spirit is free to roam without restriction. A life where you are no longer defined by past hurts, but by the love and joy you can still offer and receive. That life is possible, and it begins with the courage to let go. It's not always easy, but it is always worth it. Every breath you take is a reminder that the present is a gift, and it is waiting to be unwrapped. In the end, what matters most is not what you've held on to, but what you've released to make room for love, joy, and peace. This chapter of your life is yours to write, unburdened by the past, filled with the promise of what's still to come. You have the power to step forward, lighter, freer, and more fully alive than ever before. This life is not just one to be lived, it is one to be truly embraced. As we reach the end of today's video, I want to thank you for joining me on this journey of self-reflection and growth. We've explored some deep, powerful ways to embrace a more peaceful and fulfilling life, starting with letting go of the things that no longer serve us. From forgiving ourselves and others to setting boundaries and releasing emotional burdens, these practices can truly transform the way we experience the world. So, I'd love to hear from you. What is one thing you've learned today that you're excited to put into practice? How will you use these insights to bring more peace, clarity, and joy into your life? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm always so inspired by your feedback and stories. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a comment, give it a thumbs up, and share it with others who could benefit from this message. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more content like this. Your support means the world to us, and it helps us continue bringing valuable content to you. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to connecting with you in the next video.